Okay, I hope I'm audible properly to everyone. And let me present my screen so that let us check our audio and video. So I hope my screen is visible to everyone and my voice is also proper. So everything is okay from my
Yes,
side.
ma'am.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we are starting with the discussion regarding Java. Now see, I will be telling you the history of Java and why the name Java came and who invented Java. Actually, James Gosling. Let us give the first credit. Let us start with the first step by giving the credit to the inventor of Java, who is James Gosling. Under the Sun microsystem, the Java was first introduced, and this was having the base of C++, and it was in the OOP. The nature of Java is OOP. Now, still we will be discussing the history and everything of Java. So, but before moving on to the Java, let me just give you a quick recap or a quick recall of how actually a normal programming language works. See, what is a programming language? It is a medium for communication, right? Whenever say any programming language, what is a language? It's a medium for communication. Now, when when two people are talking, when two human beings are talking, we have a language. We have our own language. Similarly, when a machine is communicating with a human or a human is communicating with a machine, there must be a common medium of communication, and that is the easiest is the programming language. Now, initially, now we know that the limitation of a machine is a machine can only understand ones and zeros. Even we can understand ones and zero, right? We know binary language, right? But to some extent, it is very difficult for a human brain to have crores of ones and zero combination. To remember it ones and zero, it would be very difficult for us, right? So what the inventions and what the development in languages came, starting initially it was ones and zero, then came the assembly level programming where you are directly interacting with the hardware. Then comes the lower level programming language, then comes the middle level programming language, then comes the C language. There are so many languages came into the existence to make it much more convenient for user to code and to create a particular task or to achieve a particular task. So at one end, there came the invention of Java, which is the higher level programming language, which is much more comfortable for a user to understand Java code because it is a higher level programming language. When you say higher level programming language means majority of the things we write it in a normal English. Most of the things will be in the form of English language. As if you are reading something, it seems that as if you are reading a program, and it is very understandable by just reading the particular terms. You can very well say that what that actually that term means, like print. If you have print, definitely from looking at this word printf or println, we can say that actually this particular function is going to do some task related to printing, right? So this was higher level programming language. But before that, anyways, whatever you do, ultimately the thing is you have to convert your programming language into machine understandable language. Machine understandable language. Let's take a scenario for C file. Let's say I'm having a file called hello.c. I am creating a file hello.c. Why I'm starting with C? Because you all are familiar with C. This hello.c I have created. There are some lines of code in hello.c. Correct? Now, as it is a programming language, we have to check whether the syntax which is written inside that language, inside that the things which has written inside that program is according to the language syntax or not. That is called language syntax and semantics. Right? Every language has its own syntax and semantics. So we have to check that whether whatever the things which is written inside hello.c, is it proper according to the syntax or not. So that role is done by the compiler. So there is a software, there is a tool called compiler which will check that whether the things which is written inside your .c language is according to the language or not. Because see, if I am communicating with you and if I am not following the English language grammar, if I am not sticking to the rules of the English language, will it be possible for you to understand what I wanted to tell you? No, it would be very difficult for you to understand what I want to tell. Why? Because I'm not sticking to the grammar, which I'm not sticking to the standards which is provided by my language. So if I want to communicate, I have to make sure, we have to be sure enough that whatever we are writing, whatever we are telling, whatever we are speaking, that should be according to the syntax of that language. Is it clear? So that's why there comes the role of an intermediate tool called a compiler. This compiler's basic job, there are so many jobs of a compiler, but one of the basic jobs of a compiler is to check whether the things written inside that file is according to the syntax or not. Now assume that in the ideal case, everything is written correctly and absolutely correct, right? Everything is absolutely correct. Then it will do what? Your .c file will be converted into hello.obj. Obj is the object file. This .obj file will be the intermediate file, not exactly the file which your machine can read, but it is the intermediate file which is created by the compiler for its intermediate purpose. You might have came across such files if you have done C program. Some of you might have known this file, or some of you might not have known. That's okay. But this is the intermediate file. Anyways, being a user, I'm not going to use this OBJ file. This file is created for the compiler by the compiler, and it is not going to be used directly by the user. Correct? So this OBJ file, now this OBJ file does not contain exactly C language. It also does not contain exactly ones and zero. It contains some intermediate code. Now this intermediate code depends on platform, or I can say machine. This depends on machine. That means what? This OBJ file which is created by the compiler will be according to the platform. Platform means your operating system and hardware, combination of operating system and hardware, both combinedly known as a platform, right? So based on the platform, your compiler will generate the object code. Okay? And this object code, once ready for the, obviously for the compiler purpose, once it is ready, there will be the role of linker and loader. You might have heard this term while executing a C program, linker and loader. Again, these are special tools, special softwares which is responsible for linking all your library files, your header files, and load the program into the memory. Right? Once it is done, this linker and loader will take this OBJ file as the input, and it will generate our hello.exe. So once our hello.exe is ready, this exe file is having the content ones and zeros. This is actually ones and 0. And once you are having ones and zeros with you, this is actually ones and zeros. Once you are having ones and zeros ready with you, you can directly execute this on the machine, because machine can read the content of .exe, that is executable. Correct. So this is a normal, still there are so many components inside the execution of a C program. We have assemblers, we have assembly level programming, and there are so many things. But right now, let us have a brief idea about .c file, that is your C language, which will be checked whether the syntax and everything is proper by the compiler. The compiler will generate the intermediate file called obj file, which is specific to the machine. Specific to the machine means this object code, the content of this file will be related to the machine in which it is compiled, machine on which it is compiled. Once the object file is ready, the linker will take that intermediate file and it will load it into the memory and it will convert that into the executable file. Is it clear? So this becomes the normal flow of C program. So I just wanted to confirm all of you are mentally with me and getting the things what I wanted to say. Because see, if you understand the flow of a normal C program, it will be very easy for you to understand the Java flow, right? You should be knowing the flow of the program execution. Even that the thing is, you are not supposed to every time do this. You just have to, you don't have to think so much about the flow and how the things are going to be converted in. No, you just have to use it. But as an engineer, you should know that what are the different things which is taking place in the background. So let's move to now Java. Now there is a difference between the flow which we are seeing here and this flow which we'll be seeing for Java. So as you have .c file for C language, you have .java file for Java language. Let's say I have .java file with me. Obviously, the content of this file will be Java code. We will be writing the Java code inside the hello.java. Also, it is necessary to know that this is a higher level programming language, so majority of the content will be related to English terms only. So the content of this is a pure Java code, which human can very easily read and understand. Clear with this? So once you are having your .java file with you, what you will be doing? This Java file, again, the first step is what? First step should be what? Now, I have written something into Java. What should I do now? Logically, what should I do? Anyone? Again, I have to check that again I have to check that whether whatever things I have written inside the .java file, whether it is correct according to the Java syntax or not. Because again, it is a programming language. Before executing, we have to compile. Before executing, we have to check whether it is correct or not. Yes. So good, Milan, good. So when she also told compile, great. So again, the role of compiler will come into the picture. Compiler. Again, there will be a compiler, but the compiler which is used for C language and the compiler which is used for Java language will be totally different, of course, because the programming language are different, right? So there will be a compiler. So compiler will check that whether whatever is written inside hello.java is according to the Java syntax or not. If it is according to the Java syntax, if let's say in ideal case, you are having the Java correct, everything you have written is correct. So here again the intermediate file will be generated, but instead of this obj file, there will be a special type of file called hello.class. Hello.class. Now what is class and what is the importance of it, and we'll be discussing, right? But as you have .obj object file, here you will be having hello.class. Now, the beauty and the magic of Java here comes here. Now, whatever intermediate file, see this hello.class, if we try to open it and if we try to read it, we won't understand it. Even it is same for obj. If we try to open hello.obj, if we try to open hello.obj and if we try to read it, we won't be able to understand because it is not a human readable form. Similarly, if we open this hello.class and if we read it, we won't understand anything because it is not human readable form. So this is .class file which will be generated. And once the class file is ready, that means the compilation has been successful. There is no syntactical error in that program. And what you can do, you can execute that program. You can execute that program. Now here in Java, we don't have .exe. In Java, we don't have .exe. We directly say we execute it. We execute the file, right? We execute it directly. We don't execute .class file, but whatever the thing which will be coming from .class file, that we will be executing. Now let us go inside this process in detail because this is a basis of your Java foundation and interview related questions can also be asked from here. Okay, till this all of you should be comfortable that you are having a higher level programming language. You are compiling, checking whether the syntax is correct or not, and you are generating one intermediate file called hello.class. Now, the compiler for Java is called Java C. The name of the compiler which we will be using, that is called Java C. That is Java C, right? Remember this. Now, you might be knowing the two things. Interpreter, very good Ravi. Now in your earlier semester you might have came across one term called interpreter. Compiler and interpreter. Compiler is the tool which is compiling the entire program at one go and then giving the error if any, right? So entire program will be scanned at one go. Whereas in interpreter, the checking of the code will be done line by line. Checking of the code will be done line by line, and the line at which there will be error, the execution or the compilation process, the checking process will be stopped. This is one of the characteristics or one of the difference between compiler and interpreter. Compiler will scan the entire program at once. First of all, it will scan it, and then combinedly it will give you all the errors and problems the program is having. Whereas in interpreter, the interpreter will go line by line. It will not scan entire program. It will go line by line, and the line at which there will be a problem, the execution will stop. This is what interpreter. Now, in Java, you have to remember that your .java file will be converted into .class file with the help of a compiler called Java C. Once the compilation process is successful, there is no errors, there is no syntactical problem. That means now your program is ready to execute. Now your class file is ready to execute. Now who will execute your class file? Now there will be a role of interpreter. Now there will be a role of interpreter. So interpreter will do what? Interpreter will do what? It will take the input as hello.class. It will take the input, it will scan. See, we cannot understand what will be there inside hello.class because it is not human readable form. But interpreter can read what is the content of the .class file. Right? So it will go to the hello.class. Suppose this is my hello.class and there are 5 lines inside it. So your interpreter will go inside this hello.class and it will go to the first line. it will start executing line after the line, and the line at which there will be some problem, the execution will stop. Fine. So interpreter will go to the first line, it will execute it. If the execution is successful, it will go to the second line successful, third line successful, fourth line, fifth line, like this, right? And this is how your entire .class file is going to be executed, and you will be getting directly output. You will be getting your output. Your output will be obtained from .class file. This .class file will be read by the interpreter line by line, and it will, at the end of at the end of the entire file, the entire output will be visible to you. So when someone says, someone says that whether C is having compiler or interpreter, the answer is sure. The C is having compiler. But when someone asks you in interview or in Viva, someone asks you that what Java has compiler or interpreter? Java has compiler or interpreter? Yes, it has both. Java has compiler as well as interpreter. The first part will be the responsibility of the compiler, and then the second part will be the responsibility of interpreter. Now, what is the interpreter and how it works, and that we will be understanding. But I wanted you to get the flow of Java program, that when you will be writing your Java program and when you will be getting the output, actually these all are the steps taking place internally. Am I clear, everyone? Yes, so Java has compiler and interpreter both. The first will be the role of compiler. Once the compilation is successful, then and then only the interpreter will come into the picture. See, without compiler, interpreter, see, you cannot interchange the role. Even you cannot first call the compiler and first interpreter and then the compiler. This is also not possible. The roles are fixed, but we need both to execute a Java program, because I'll tell you why. The reason is, okay, let me tell you why Java has interpreter, or what is still there is a beauty of Java. Okay, now what we told here in C, that whatever object file which was created here, that was specific to platform. Platform means जिस मशीन में हमने डाला है, जिस मशीन में हमने ये कंपाइल किया ये फाइल, उसके हिसाब से ओबीजे जनरेट हुई. तो मतलब ये ओबीजे फाइल है, वो कहाँ एग्जीक्यूट होगी? उसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे. मान लो मैंने विंडोज ओएस में करी है ये फाइल सी प्रोग्राम, तो ये मेरी जो ये जो फाइल है .obj फाइल, वो सिर्फ विंडोज में ही रन होगी. ठीक है, वो अभी मान लो लिनक्स में या मैक में रन नहीं होगी. ये इसका एक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक बोलो तो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, और लिमिटेशन बोलो तो लिमिटेशन. ये इट इज अ प्लेटफॉर्म स्पेसिफिक. It is platform specific. And when somebody says, what do you mean by a platform? Platform means the combination of hardware and software. Combination of hardware and software. If you change the platform, your OBJ file will be not compatible. Why? Because it was created for a specific platform only. ठीक है, उसका कंपाइलर ऐसे डिजाइन हुआ है कि वो जो प्लेटफॉर्म में है उसी प्लेटफॉर्म के हिसाब से ओबीजे फाइल जनरेट करेगा. दिस इज अ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ अ सी लैंग्वेज. नाउ कम्स द जावा. जावा में क्या है? जावा का कंपाइलर ऐसे डिजाइन हुआ है, द कंपाइलर ऑफ जावा इज डिजाइन्ड इन सच अ वे that it will generate the class file which will not be platform dependent. मतलब कि ये मेरी जो क्लास फाइल है, ये मेरी जो इंटरमीडिएट क्लास फाइल हुई, मैं ये पर्टिकुलर क्लास फाइल कहीं पे भी एग्जीक्यूट कर सकती हूँ. सेम क्लास फाइल, सेम, आई कैन कॉपी पेस्ट दिस क्लास फाइल and I can execute the same class file in n number of platform. N number of platform means मान लो मैंने मुझे मैक में करना है या मुझे विंडोज पे करना है, the same class file will be used, say Linux पे करना है, the same class file I can execute in all the 3 platforms. Is it okay? So this is only true for Java. ये OBJ फाइल प्लेटफॉर्म स्पेसिफिक नहीं है, whereas प्लेटफॉर्म स्पेसिफिक है, whereas hello.class is not प्लेटफॉर्म स्पेसिफिक. ठीक है, अभी आपको ये डाउट होना चाहिए बीइंग अ स्टूडेंट के सी अल्टीमेटली माय जॉब इज व्हाट. अल्टीमेटली कोई भी प्रोग्राम आपको एग्जीक्यूट करवाना है, अल्टीमेटली मुझे किस पे कन्वर्ट करना है, वंस एंड जीरोस, राइट. अल्टीमेटली आई हैव टू कन्वर्ट माय एप्लीकेशन, माय प्रोग्राम टू वंस एंड जीरो, क्योंकि तभी मेरा मशीन समझ पाएगा. सी हम कुछ भी समझे ना समझे, लेकिन ये तय है कि computer only understands binary, computer only understands ones and zeros, that is fixed, right. अब कोई भी मशीन हो, विंडोज, कोई भी प्लेटफॉर्म हो, कुछ भी हो, वो सिर्फ वंस एंड जीरोज ही समझेगा और कुछ नहीं समझेगा. ठीक है, अभी लॉजिकली मुझे बोलो कि द आर्किटेक्चर विच इज और द हार्डवेयर और द सॉफ्टवेयर और द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम विच मैक इज यूजिंग इज ऑल टुगेदर डिफरेंट फ्रॉम विंडोज एंड लिनक्स. सी ये 3 अलग अलग प्लेटफॉर्म हो गए. अभी 3 अलग अलग प्लेटफॉर्म है, मतलब तीनों की वर्किंग स्टाइल अलग हुई, तीनों की वर्किंग स्टाइल अलग हुई. यस, क्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म, वेरी गुड बजरंग, इट इज अ क्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म. यू कैन generate, you can execute it in any of the platform. Now अगर मैं बोलूं कि ये 3 अलग प्लेटफॉर्म है, तो उसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि इन तीनों की वर्किंग स्टाइल अलग है. agree or not? When I say it's a 3 different platforms, that is true कि मैक जैसे वर्क करता है वो विंडोज से अलग है, विंडोज जैसे वर्क कर रहा है वो लिनक्स से अलग है, सब अलग अलग तरीके से वर्क कर. और can you change the working of Mac, Windows or Linux? Can you change it as a programmer? No, you cannot change it because it is fixed, right? You cannot change it. तो अभी क्या करें, मेरे पास क्लास फाइल हुई, मेरे पास एक क्लास फाइल, एक जेनरिक क्लास फाइल आ गई जो मैं कहीं पे भी रन कर सकती हूँ. ये तो चलो कहीं पे रन कर सकती हूँ, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली मुझे मान लो अगर 10 जगह पे रन करना है, तो दसों जन के लिए के हिसाब से मुझे थोड़ा बहुत तो मॉडिफिकेशन करना पड़ेगा. यस और नो? सी मान लो अगर मैं OOPJ क्लास जो है वो लेती हूँ, PC1 में भी लेती हूँ, EC1 में भी लेती हूँ, EC2 में भी लेती हूँ. ठीक है, अभी PC1 में ऐसे बच्चे हैं जिसको किसी को भी गुजराती नहीं आती. EC1 में ऐसे बच्चे हैं जिसको किसी को भी इंग्लिश नहीं आता. और EC2 में ऐसे बच्चे हैं जिसको इंग्लिश भी आता है, गुजराती भी आता है, हिंदी भी आता है, मतलब कुछ भी. एवरी क्लास हैज इट्स ओन नेचर. अभी मान लो मैं EC1 का स्टाइल PC1 में चलाऊं, EC1 में किसी को भी इंग्लिश नहीं आती. ठीक है, और अगर मैं इंग्लिश में ही लेक्चर देते जाऊं तो अल्टीमेटली क्या होगा, nobody is going to understand. Similarly, अगर PC1 में ऐसे बच्चे हैं जिसको किसी को भी गुजराती समझ में नहीं आती, तो क्या होगा अगर मैं गुजराती में बोलूं, it's a useless because I am not connecting to my target audience, right? मुझे अपने क्लास के हिसाब से थोड़ा बहुत मॉडिफिकेशंस करना पड़ेगा. जो मैं थोड़ा बहुत मॉडिफिकेशंस कर लूं, I can easily achieve what I wanted. I can easily make you all understand what do I mean by Java. अगर मैं EC1 में सिर्फ गुजराती में बोलूं तो मेरा काम हो जाता है. अगर मैं EC2 में मिक्स बोलूं तो मेरा काम हो जाता है. अगर PC1 में मैं सिर्फ इंग्लिश में बोलूं मेरा काम हो जाता है. मतलब मैंने थोड़ा बहुत वेरिएशन किया और उस वेरिएशन के हिसाब से मेरा टारगेट अचीव हो गया. मेरा कंटेंट सेम था, उसी कंटेंट को मैंने थोड़ा बहुत वेरिएशन करके मैंने आपको प्रेजेंट किया, तो मेरा काम हो गया. ठीक है, सो आर यू गेटिंग एवरीवन, गेटिंग द सिनेरियो, गेटिंग द प्रॉब्लम? यस. नाउ टू रिजॉल्व दैट, हु इज टेकिंग द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ सच वेरिएशन? थोड़ा बहुत मॉड्यूलेशन, थोड़ा बहुत वेरिएशन, थोड़ा बहुत चेंजिंग करने की जिम्मेदारी कौन लेता है जावा में? ये लेता है, वी कॉल इट द हीरो ऑफ Java, that is called JVM. We will learn in detail about that. JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. ये एक ऐसा टूल है, एक ऐसा सॉफ्टवेयर है जो एक्सेप्ट क्या करेगा? एक्सेप्ट हमेशा वो क्या करेगा? यही करेगा, इट विल ऑलवेज टेक हेलो डॉट क्लास एज इनपुट, ठीक है? लेकिन फिर वो देखेगा कि मुझे किस पे एग्जीक्यूट करना है, मैक पे, तो इट विल वेरिएट इट अकॉर्डिंग टू मैक। फिर वापस वी हैव हियर जेवीएम, दिस जेवीएम विल टेक केयर कि मैं समझ रहा हूं कि डॉट क्लास फाइल क्या है, लेकिन मैं चेंज कर दूंगा विंडोज के हिसाब से। अगेन विल बी हैविंग अनदर जेवीएम which will take care about converting the dot class file into Linux understandable code. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? We have different JVMs with us. We have different JVMs with us whose task is to convert your dot class file according to the underlying OS. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि अगर आप कोई भी जावा एप्लीकेशन, मान लो अभी हम जावा करेंगे, ठीक है, अभी हम जावा सीखेंगे, तो आपको एक इंस्टॉल करना पड़ेगा, एक टूल इंस्टॉल करना पड़ेगा। मैं आपको बोलूंगी क्या है, कहाँ से करते हैं, वो आपको इंस्टॉल करना पड़ेगा। जब आप इंस्टॉल करोगे आपको ऑप्शन आएगा कि आपको विंडोज का करना है, आपको लिनक्स का करना है, आपको मैक का करना है, आपको ऑप्शन आएगा। अभी मान लो आप कौन से वर्क करो, सपोज आप मैक पे वर्क कर रहे हो, तो आप कौन सा चूज करोगे? मैक वाला करोगे। अभी मान लो मैं अभी विंडोज का कर रही हूं, तो मैं कौन सा चूज करूंगी? विंडोज का, ठीक है? Why I need to variate? Why I need different JVMs? Because as my underlying platforms, underlying OS are different, every other OS has a different way of working, and ultimately I need to convert it into that particular OS only, क्योंकि तो ही मैं एग्जीक्यूट कर पाऊंगी मशीन पे। अदरवाइज देयर इज, इफ आई कैन नॉट एग्जीक्यूट, व्हाट इज द नीड ऑफ डेवलपिंग such applications and if I cannot get the output, right? तो थोड़ा बहुत मुझे वेरिएशन करना पड़ेगा। So JVM is taking the responsibility of changing your dot class file, interpreting your dot class file. I should now use the word interpreting. It will interpret your class file in the target OS, according to the target OS. So we have different JVMs. This is what the moral gist of the session. We have different JVMs for different OS. This is first fact you have to remember. Different JVMs for different OS. Agreed, everyone? Just a second, Bajran. Let me just be. It means, ma'am, if JVM type machine is present in other programming language, then all other language can run on all OS. I'm not getting, Bajrang. I'm not getting what you want to say. So ultimately the thing is, you have to install the JVM according to the machine on which you want to execute it, right? hello dot class file आपने generate की, मान लो see, right now I am using Mac, right now I'm using Mac machine here, right? अभी मैंने जो क्लास फाइल जनरेट की वो मैक में की, ठीक है? अभी ये क्लास फाइल मैं आपको देती हूँ और आपके मशीन में क्या है? विंडोज है। तो यही क्लास फाइल जो मैंने मैक में जनरेट की थी, वो सेम क्लास फाइल आपकी आप में भी एग्जीक्यूट होगी ही, प्रोवाइडेड you have your Windows JVM with you. Are you getting now? Don't make yourself confused. यही समझो कि आपने डॉट क्लास फाइल कहीं पे भी जनरेट की, कोई से भी मशीन में जनरेट की, मैक में, सोलारिस में, लिनक्स में, विंडोज में कहीं पे भी जनरेट की। अभी ये क्लास फाइल मैं दूसरे मशीन पे शिफ्ट करती हूँ, मैं दूसरे मशीन पे शिफ्ट करती हूँ, तो वो मशीन में कब रन होगा, वो मशीन में मैं वो क्लास फाइल कब रन कर सकूंगी, जब उस मशीन के मैचिंग मेरे पास जेवीएम होगा। दैट्स इट। To run the particular class file, I need to have a matching JVM for that operating system. That's it. Nothing else is needed. डॉट क्लास फाइल कहाँ से आई, कैसे आई, किसने की, कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म ने की, वी आर लिस्ट कंसर्न। लेकिन वो डॉट क्लास फाइल एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए मुझे मेरे मशीन का मैचिंग जेवीएम चाहिए। इज इट ओके और नॉट? Krish and Bajrang especially. Okay, Bajrang, clear. So डॉट क्लास फाइल कहीं से भी आई हो, मान लो विंडोज में से आई हो और विंडोज में जाने वाली हो, वी आर लिस्ट कंसर्न, डॉट क्लास फाइल कहीं से भी आई हो, आपको अगर आपके मशीन में डॉट क्लास फाइल वो एग्जीक्यूट करनी है तो आपके मशीन के स्पेसिफिक आपके पास जेवीएम होना चाहिए। दैट्स इट, दैट इज व्हाट द थिंग इज, करेक्ट? Okay, so this is what the overall flow. Still there are things we will be discussing in detail for this. So there, let me just summarize the session and summarize the points. First of all, Java is higher level language. Java has interpreter and compiler both. Java C is the compiler of the Java C is the name of the compiler of Java. Then the intermediate file which will be created after successful compilation is hello dot, that means dot class. Only if your compilation is successful, then and then only the class file will be generated. If there is errors in your .java file, there will not be any dot class file. Clear? So dot class file. Now this dot class file is platform independent. This dot class file, the content of the file is platform independent. It is not related to the any platform. To execute this dot class file, we need interpreter, and that is the part of JVM. Now JVM is different for different platforms because we need to moderate the content of the dot class file such that it is acceptable by the target OS. Now, JVM is taking the responsibility of converting your dot class file into the target specific operating system, or it is converting your dot class file to the target operating system. Am I clear or not? Is there any doubt, guys? Is there any doubt? See, these are the basics. Very good. Fine. Great. So this is what all about the flow, generic flow of a Java program. So what we will do is we will be using two commands. Let's remember the command for today as a exercise. We will be using like this: Java C hello.java. Now once you will write this line, that means you want to compile your program. This is for compilation. This is for compilation. Now, when you want to compile your program, you will be writing Java C hello.java. Now, once the compilation is successful, that means what will be created? Automatically, hello.class file will be created. Now, once your hello.class file is ready, you can interpret that class file. Now, how to interpret or how to execute? The command is Java, and here we will be writing only hello. Only hello. We will not write dot class. We will only write hello, the name of the file. And this is to execute. Once you will do this, you will be getting the output. For example, hello world, if you are using hello world printf, like in a normal C program, if you have a hello world program in Java, same will be done. You will be getting hello world in the output screen. These are the only two commands we are going to use it for the basic Java programming. That is Java C for compilation and Java for execution. Java, C and Java. Am I clear, everyone? So this is what we will be discussing. I'm not bombarding you with so many lot of things now. We'll be ending up the session, but please do remember so many things we understood. Two commands, Java C and Java. Java C to compile, Java to execute. Hello.java to hello.class, hello.class to executable based on the OS. First of all, compiler, then interpreter will come into the picture. JVM, Java Virtual Machine, is going to help you. Java Virtual Machine is going to interpret your .class file to the machine specific code. Machine specific code. Is that this is all from my side, guys, for today. Please think for a minute. Meanwhile, let me take the attendance. Think for a moment. If you have still any doubt, do let me know. Meanwhile, I'm taking the attendance. Please be very quick in attending the roll calls because there are so many students in your class. Zaki, please be very quick, guys. I will not, and if you cannot speak or is there any problem, if there is any problem in the audio, please write it here in the chat box. Be quick in answering. You know the roll numbers. You know the sequence, right? Sachin, you can just type P and you can let it go. You can write it and in the chat box you can write P and then you can move one by one. Sachin, Chinmay, Dhairya. Okay, Sachin is not there. Okay, Sachin is there. Be quick. Milan, Hitesh, Hina. Milan, Hina. What about Hitesh? Hitesh is not present. Okay. Chirag, Vensi, Kamal. Kamal Raj.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Astha, Shelvi, Jai Kishan. Okay, all the three present. Hiren, Naresh, Mohammed. Hiren is present. Okay, Munaf is present. Naresh, what about Naresh? Okay, Yatish, Mohib Bhushan and Krish. Okay. Mishi, Khushal, Umang. Okay. Parth, Karthik, Deep. Karthik is present, Deep is present. Okay, all the three present. Mihir, Nirali and Urvisha. Okay, Nirali, all three present. Fine. Sharad, Rahul, Shreya. Shreya is present. Rahul is present. Sharad is not there. Okay. Krishna, Milan, Sunil. Krishna present. Milan present. Sunil is not there. Harsh, Yash, Diksha. Harsh, Yash, Diksha. Great. Zenith, Varun, Stuti. Great. All three present. Akshay, Om, Harshil. Harshil is present. Akshay, Om, not present. Dev, Yash, Kinjal. Yash, Dev. Yash is there. Dev is there. Kinjal is not there. Jai, Manan, Bhagyesh. Okay, Jai is there. Manan is there. Bhagyesh, not there. Bhargav, Sahista, Aryan. Okay, Bhargav is there. Bhagyesh is there. Sahista is there. Aryan is there. Okay. Amit, Ruma, Bajrang. Okay, Ruma is there. Bajrang is there. Amit is there. Correct. Sonu, Aman, Rajiv. Okay. All three. Akhilesh, Ankit, Kashish. Akhilesh present, Ankit present, Kashish present. Great. Rahul, Umang, Manan. Mananjay. Rahul present, Umang present, Mananjay present. Great. Sonu, Divyanshu, Bhumika. Okay, great. All three present. Chandan, Gagan, Vinay. Chandan, Vinay, and Gagan. Not there? Great. Okay. Abhiraj, Shravan, Rinku. Okay, all three present. Roshan, Ashish, Priyanka.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Vicky, Manish, Alsaif.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Brajesh, Rohini, and Akash. Rohini present. Akash is not there. Okay. Okay, so let me just tell the absent numbers again. Brajesh absent. Gagan absent. Kinjal Chandarana absent. Harshil, sorry, Harshil is present. Om and Akshay Akbari absent. Sunil absent. Naresh absent. Hitesh Handa absent. These are the absent students. Is there any doubt, guys, for today's session? I hope it was interesting. I hope it was informative too. Those who have already learned Java, that's great. But those who have not, let us make it. Okay, great, Harshit. So I wish all the very best. Take care, guys. Keep learning. Be positive, and thank you for joining. You all may leave the meeting. Bye for now. Thank you all.